And with the power of disappointment on our side, we will have a look around. For the next segment, we will need a new game mechanic. It's not that difficult. Okay. It's just a new hacker skill we need to apply. Because there should be an empty podest, and we need to copy and paste another pass thingy onto this. So we head here to the yellow thing, copy it. So Control Z, and then you can see above our heads we have the yellow marker, and then paste it here. And that's all. New mechanic learned. We will need this a couple of times. We will actually need it a couple of times, but it's not that difficult. It's just you need to reach point A, then you need to reach point B, which allows you to reach point C. It's a normal puzzle mechanic. Nothing incredibly creative, but it fulfills its purpose. And we will head up. And that's all. That's all. Ikio! I'm good. Perfectly fine. And, well, eventually we will acquire a Platinum Numemon, which will help out a lot. And I don't really want to fight those small fries, but it will benefit the greater good, so let's do it. And just get over it. Sistermon gotta level up. She's so cute. She is so cute. But I'm afraid I will need to Digivolve her later, because for her next form she will need a lot of stats and a lot of progress, which is hard to get on the first run. But well, we did it, and we can... Oh! Yes, I know, I'm stupid. Yes, leave me alone. I'm just too nice of a girl. Because it's just meant to unlock the door. And I did as I was told. Of course I need to have a look behind this passage. And this place I hate. I really hate this place. Because it's obnoxious. And it's bothersome. But a real good place to train. So I'm not that sad and upset about it. Oh, I just recognized that my frame is not that perfectly. Maybe I need to put it a little bit more down that you can read the text yourself. I mean, it will work out eventually, but because you are all smart guys and girls watching this. Well, there is a... What did Suedo call it? Can't remember, it's a labyrinth. I know, I said I couldn't know what... I believe I have to witness a special digital wave occurrence. It's as if it's some kind of current... I see. This is definitely a ley line. This is important. This is really important, because those will play a major role. Huh? Have you ever heard of ley lines before? There are many in Tokyo. They are also called dragon chains. True story. Again, Kyoko teaches you a lot. Dragon signifies the undulating landscape, the hills and mountains. The dragon chain is what we call the flow of the land's spirit. It's well known that Sosei Tenkai, advisor to Ieyasu Tokugawa, turned Edo into a great Feng Shui city. Edo is the old name of Tokyo. It is said that they built a waterway and path to lead the chi from Mount Fuji and Tokyo Bay to Edo Castle, Tokyo Castle. Of particular note in this instance are Ken-Eiji and Asakasa Shrine to the northeast, I guess, and Sojoji and Hiei Shrine to the southwest. All big religious institutions. All true stories. Those are literal, real places. In Feng Shui, those directions are thought to draw negative energy their way. The shrines hold big festivals to purge and expel that energy. And if you look at the lines that connect Buddhist temples Kanei-ji and Sojoji and Shinto shrines Asakusa and Hiei, you'll find they cross right inside old Edo Castle, home to today's Tokyo Imperial Palace. It's really quite fascinating to see. It is all true, she says. This is all real facts, or are facts. Nowadays, the waterways have been swapped out for rail lines, interesting, and radio towers dot the northeast and southwest. You could say we've finished what Tenkai started. Viewed from the eyes of current society, those rail lines and radio towers are artificial ley lines that supplement the old roads and waterways. Naturally, where you are standing underground constitutes another ley line running through Tokyo too. Not just any ley line either. The one that's believed to emanate from Mount Fuji is supposed to run right through there. The man-made tunnel layered on top of it allows the digital waves to keep flowing in perpetuity. It's really a peculiar thing going on down there. That's what's producing this quasi-labyrinth you are seeing before you. Knowing that, those weird voices that people are supposedly hearing probably belong to Digimon that are appearing as a result. I could go on for a while about this subject, but you at least somewhat get what I'm saying, right? This is really interesting. This is really interesting because this game was really the first time I have heard about the connection of the ley lines to Tokyo that much. And also the real pendant with the radio towers and the rail lines is incredibly interesting. This is really, really incredibly interesting. I take that to mean you understood well enough. At this point your work is essentially done, but we can't exactly just ignore this newfound discovery of yours either. Why don't you go a little further in and check things out for me? I don't like this dungeon. This is the payback for the incredible good story. Because Kyoko's attempt explaining us how quantum physics work is kinda a foreshadowing about this dungeon. Because we will appear here at these cross sections and have to decide left or right. I think the right path was right, left, left, right? Or it was left. I don't remember it. It's just obnoxiously. If it says on course like that, you're going to end up in Roppongi, which would mean, you know, this reminds me of something else I've heard about before. As I mentioned before, Tokyo's ley lines stem from Mount Fuji, which is of course not all that a coincidence given that it's a sacred place. And that energy takes old highways like the Koshukaido to Tokaido to get to Tokyo from Mount Fuji. That energy joins up with underground waterways going along the highways that carry Mount Fuji's snowmelt to Tokyo, flowing into the city together. One theory holds that the first place where that water appears above ground after reaching Tokyo happens to be where else but Nakano. All those incredibly facts that are not random, and the game creators are very creative using this. Put simply, all the ley lines that flow throughout Tokyo could well be coming out of our own stomping grounds, believe it or not. Wouldn't that be amazing to think about if it turned out to be true? As I mentioned, it is... Oh, okay. Stop right there. Don't go any further. Well, we skipped the dungeon right now, because this is the end of the dungeon. You are standing at the border of the municipality. Go any further and you'll be in central government territory. That's a hive we'd best not poke. Kinda me intrigued though, that's a hell of a thing to stumble into just walking around inside a tunnel. We aren't prepared yet to pick that sort of fight. There's still too much we don't know. This little tangent of ours has gone on long enough, I think. Head back the way you came on, regroup at the office. Yeah, we did skip the whole dungeon, which relieves me, and I am relieved, because it is a pretty bothersome dungeon. There is a digital shift. We should probably keep it locked up for it after all. I have no idea how I'm going to explain all of this to our client. No matter how you spin it, it'll probably all be a lot to take in. I wouldn't be surprised if we come away looking even sketchier than we already do. Let's just let the old man deal with it. It's a good point. It's a really good point. Some jobs are just best left to others. You're curious what exactly was actually beyond where you stopped? That makes two of us, believe me. Actually, while you were on your way back, I decided to look into it a little bit. Apparently what you found was a Kamishiro research lab, of all things. And this is important. Oh, don't be dense. I told you that the area is under the jurisdiction of the central government. That's not the sort of place you wander into for fun. If nothing else, it indicates that Kamishiro and the government have a tighter relationship than what we previously suspected. Going after Kamishiro could well mean that we'll govern feathers. That's why we can't be hasty right now. We'll do what we can to prepare and cross that bridge when we come to it, which will be much later on. This is one of the final acts of the game. It's just a guess on my end, but I imagine it was Kamishiro that changed the password on the door and rendered it impossible to get open. They probably weren't counting on us being able to actually break in and snoop around. Knowing that it could well serve as our ace in the hole later when time does come to confront them, hopefully unawares. It will be useful, of course it will be useful. But again, let's not worry about hashing out the details until we have to, and just be grateful we have that up our sleeves if we need be. On that note, I realize this case is technically closed, but what do you say about heading over to Roppongi for me one more time? I don't mean on official business, rather I'm keen on doing a little independent intelligence gathering for our own internal use. Surely you're interested in knowing why Kamishiro has built a research lab underneath the Metropolitan Office too, right? So how about you just walk on through the front door there and see what you can find. Sounds good? Ugh. This was, again, a lot of talk. So we head to another place and have a look. Tokyo Metropolitan Office. Oh god, this place. I hate this place. Yes, please, give me a tour. Well, that's gonna lobby remains free and open deployed. Did you make it inside the Metropolitan Office? Alright, I get you. So they're alright with you hanging around the lobby. Well, that makes our work a little easier then. Go on in. All you need at this point is a terminal somewhere so you can infiltrate the systems. Piece of cake at this stage, I'd say. So once you find the terminal, just slip on in and work your magic like always. Wish I was there to see it myself. Seems like quite the sight. It reminds me of the Tower of Babel. Babel, in a way. Guess I'm starting to ramble again. You can ramble as much as possible because I want to learn the stories you tell. Feel free to get back to work now. Well, there's a lot of wisdom within Kyoko's words. There is a lot of wisdom. Because the Tower of Babel is a symbol for a shite ton of things. So, well, yeah. Okay, here we are in the lobby. And here's a PC for us. And I don't think we can snoop around. But this place will become eventually a dungeon. And you can sneak peek up there. The elevators. Yes. We will have to fight our way to the top of the tower. Of course. Later on. There's a small digital shift happening here. And dive head first. Something wrong out there. Oh, you found a terminal that's digital shifting a little. If this shift is weak while still prominent enough for you to notice it, it could be a sign this place will turn into a labyrinth later on. Yes! Well, for now, try connect jumping into it. We have no idea what could be inside there, so stay on your feet. Yes. Okay, we do have a mini dungeon. And I think I will get my item first. And our Digimon are... Those are Rookie. Rookie are fine to me. Rookie are fine to me because they will bring us good XP. Celestial Arrow! And it's a good training ground. The problem is this is also a place we are not able to get back later on. So we should use it as much as we can now. Bug recovery. Bug is a nice... Oh, this is an interesting ailment. Negative ailment we can get. It's glitch. It's not bug, it's glitching called. The ailment. That's nice. Or I think this recovers us from glitching. It's a rather rare ailment, so we will not come across it a lot of times. But we will come across it eventually. Quiz time. What's the food you give Digimon in the race? Max HP. Best meat is wrong, because best meat raises the cam. But I don't know. I don't know. Oh, an eater. An eater. How are my Digimon? Oh, just fine. The last one was rather easy. But let's have a look. Come on, paralyze it. The greatest benefit of this one is that it doesn't have a type, which is good. So every attack is strong. So my arrow shall pierce through your flesh. One great benefit is that Eater are incredibly slow. Punch it. And Flower Cannon just to be safe. And done. Perfect. And that's it. So you found an eater inside there after all? But you couldn't find any other evidence of note? Huh. You're not seeing the forest for the trees. The fact that there was an eater inside the terminal at all is big evidence in and of itself. Regardless, let's call it a day here. Get on back to the office now. Well, how anticlimactic. That was probably hard work going all over the place today. But thanks to you, I think I'm starting to piece it all together now. While you were out and about, I decided to measure the digital waves coming out of that building. And I found out that the Metropolitan Office itself is one big digital wave force field. From what I can tell, energy is flowing straight into the Metropolitan Office, via the ley line inside Nakano Underpass. So that underground lab Kaneshiro has beneath the building is probably controlling the energy flow. You remember what I said about ley lines when you were inside the tunnel, don't you? Sure. There are two things at play here. The natural energy flow from the Earth along the ley lines and digital waves emanating from the sea of electrons. If you can make a massive structure like the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Office a hub for those things, then you can manipulate their flow. Why do they need to do it that way? Well, for one, digital waves might be invisible to the naked eye, but they have mass and therefore require a vessel. And the bigger the vessel is that contains those waves, the more energy you can build up. This is logical. It probably also explains the new construction going on, as more space would mean that much more energy Kamishiro could stockpile. That extra energy would then go on to impact the office beyond the facility. Hence, the digital shift you ran into in the lobby, and with any good digital shift comes an eater, of course. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if that place goes labyrinthine eventually. Of course it will. But we don't have to be concerned about that threat anymore now that you've cleaned the joint up. For now. On the other hand, it's worrying in its own way that things resolved so cleanly this time. The fact that digital waves can be concentrated in such small quantities as to attract individual eaters and produce a micro-labyrinth is scary. If you hadn't been there, it might well not have been caught until much later. The whole thing doesn't sit well with me at all. This case has taught us that there's technology that can mostly suppress large amounts of digital waves as they are built up and placed wherever. The deliberate and calculated nature of it all indicates that somebody's got big plans in the works, suffice it to say. This of course calls for more investigating. We need to figure out how long this has all been going on, and just what exactly it's for. Let's keep our eyes peeled as we move forward, Selena. We're onto something. I know it. It is an incredibly dialogue-heavy game. Your drive is really admirable, keep it up. One way or another we'll definitely deal with Kamishiro when the time is right. And I'm questless. So I just need to... Shibuya Records. Ah, interesting. A lot of talking. Now it's just time to a little bit quiet. Yeah, tough. Toughness bamboo was not one of the given answers. Shite. I forgot where to go. I again forgot where to go, but I think it was Shibuya Records, which is back there. What did you sell? Okay. Hello there! Motivation.
これはそ すみません、お客様にこんなところ。最近おかしな事件のせいでちょっぴり疲れてて。電脳探偵？困った時は相談を？へえ。っていうか、お客様にこんな話をしちゃうなんて。仕切り直していいですか？もう一回話しかけてくれたら。ね。
I love this voice acting. Was that all? Was that all? I mean, I do know that there are quests within here. Was that all? Do I need to head back? Kyoko, what am I supposed to do? Kyoko, help me. Give me your wisdom. Reiko Davas case file. Shibuya record. Weird pranks at Shibuya Records. Well, where can it have us? There was a farm expansion plugin. We should use those once we get back to the Digilab.
あなたは電脳探偵さん。事務所に出した依頼受けてくれたんですね。
I feel like a boomerang.
改めまして、私田和玲子って言います。
田和玲子です。
音楽とアニメをこよなく愛するアルバイト店員です。依頼の内容を詳しく聞きたい？実は最近店内で微妙ないたずらが多発してて困ってるんです。陳列している CD の位置が変わってたり、怪しげな自作風 CD が勝手に並べられたりしていて、あまりにも微妙すぎて警察も取り合ってくれないし、気になって夜も眠れず少し疲れちゃって。誰が何のためにこんな微妙ないたずらをしているのか調査してください。
Play please. Strange pranks. Tell me. Death Trap CDs? Strange indeed. Hello there. Strange pranks. I guess someone keeps adding this mysterious CD on the racks. Oh, look, here it is. The ghost just got these odd looking symbols. There's no band name or anything. I mean, it's not Led Zeppelin, you know?